In Unit 6, you'll learn to identify the main idea of a paragraph. We'll take a look at what this reading skill is and how to apply it in the Paper 1 exam. You may ask, why do we need to identify the main idea of a paragraph? We do this because it can help us know what a paragraph is about and what role it plays in a text. When we try to identify the main idea of a paragraph, we can pay attention to the subject or focus of that paragraph. Sometimes the paragraph may not necessarily have a main idea, but a function. So we can ask ourselves what function it plays in the text, such as elaborating on a topic, transitioning to the next idea, giving evidence to support an argument, and so on. Let's take a look at a passage. The first paragraph here describes a child sniffing a piece of vegetable while some adults are examining food and looking for a bargain. This is a description that does not really tell us what the context or the subject matter is. So the function of this paragraph is to set the scene and give readers a vivid picture of what they will read about. How about paragraph 2? This paragraph starts with a direct quote from someone who runs the food waste pop-up shop. Now we know that the previous paragraph was setting the scene for the food waste pop-up shop, and now from the mouth of the person who runs it, we know how it works. This is the first introduction of the subject that will be discussed in this article. Paragraph 3 is the continuation of the direct quote in paragraph 2. What we see is that the person continues to explain details about the operation and also the rationale behind the food waste project. Then, in paragraph 4, we are given more details of the food waste project, including how many volunteers work on it and what they have achieved. The next paragraph goes back to a direct quote from the same person, and this time she is discussing the impact of the project and why it is important to people. After spending 5 paragraphs on different aspects of the food waste project, the article zooms out to the bigger picture about other food waste projects. Let's see how we can use this reading skill, identifying the main idea of a paragraph, to answer a reading comprehension question on the Paper 1 exam. Here's a question based on the same text we have been looking at. The question asks you to match subheadings to the outline of that text. To tackle this kind of question, it is important to know what each paragraph is about. Since we have already identified the main idea of each paragraph earlier, we can now see how they combine to form different sections in the text. So, as we have talked about earlier, paragraphs 1 to 4 are only brief introductions to the subject being discussed in the text. Paragraph 5 describes how the food waste project benefits different people, and paragraph 6 describes other similar food waste projects. Therefore, we can see that the section that follows the introduction is about benefits for everyone, which means subheading E is a match for section 2 on the outline, and the section after that is about different food waste projects, which means subheading A is a match for section 3. Let's look at the next section in the text. Paragraph 8 gives a brief description of the origins of food waste projects in Denmark, so it still belongs to the last section. Paragraph 9 gives details on the work of an important person who works on food waste projects. And paragraph 10 mentions a specific instance in Jules' work where she spoke at the EU Parliament. If we put paragraphs 9 and 10 together, we can see that it is about a specific individual who works on a food waste project. So subheading E, the person who started it all, is a perfect match for section 4 in the outline. The paragraph after that talks about how Jules' food project helps people. So subheading C, Solutions for Individuals, is a good match for section 5 in the outline. What we find in paragraph 12 is that the idea of leftovers is being reframed into a more appealing concept, which helps promote the idea of reducing food waste. Since this section is about reframing a concept or idea, subheading B, Thinking Differently, is the answer for section 6 in the outline. Now, it is your turn to try using this reading skill to answer some questions. Use your newly learnt skills on this text and see how quickly you can answer the questions below.